Hello, everyone. My name is Tim, and welcome to Tim Talks, the show that's only partially a show, but really is just an excuse for me to talk to some of my very talented friends. And speaking of talented friends, I have another one here with me today. His name is Andrew Blanchard.
Blanchard. You know, it's what I've been told how to say it.
A regular cast member over at the Internet Box Podcast. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you, Tim?
Oh, not too bad. Long day. Directing a bunch of people. I'm taking this small directing class, and we had to put together a scene, and I kind of wanted to do this thing kind of like Duck 'em Up, you know, the Looney Tunes cartoon way back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Where you're describing a scene, and then stuff's happening to the actors in the scene, and blah, 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 blah. My other partners, God bless them, they ended up turning it into this sweet scene about a guy who's coming in and gets, like, lambasted into a project he doesn't want to do and makes a stand about it, you know. Yeah.
Sounds rough.
Yeah, that was fun. Which, to be fair, once you got all the details hammered out, once we got behind the cameras and directing stuff, it was a lot of fun. But
sounds good, man. Sounds great.
Headaches abound. But getting back to the subject at hand. So, yeah, like I said, you're one of the regular members over at the Internet Box Podcast, a rather popular podcast. How did you get started over there?
It's all based on my friendship starting with Michael Jones who works at Achievement Hunter.
Yeah.
3 years ago now, actually. Wow. Went to Pax East, and I made a video with over at the RT booth. It was day 3.
Was it the dance-off video?
It was the dance-off video. Day 3, like, there was, like, 20 minutes to go. I'm, like, the big Rooster Teeth fan, like, out of, like, all my friends, like, who went. So I was, like, dragging them, like, let's go back to Rooster Teeth. And they're like, oh, my God, enough. So I was like, I just want to go over there one more time. Just one more time. I just want to see what's going to happen. To see what's going on.
Of course.
So they're, like, at, like, some other, like, booth. And I go over by myself, and I record this dance-off that they're doing with Mega 64. There's the booth right next to them. So they're all dancing, and I put this video up on YouTube, and I think that's how it goes. I think Jack found it first and then sent it to Michael, because Michael was like, how is PAX East?
Uh-huh.
And then Jack was like, oh, this video will sum it up. And it was the video that I made. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, and I just got talking to him. You know, he sent me a friend request on Xbox, sent me a couple party invites, and I guess I got in, and we just started talking, became friends. I soon then later met Ray and Mike through the Achievement Hunter streams that they used to have.
Oh,
HTV.
yeah.
With Fragger would do those. I think it was like
Fragger
every Monday,
Caleb.
every other Monday, like every 2 weeks or whatever.
Oh, God, those are so much fun.
And we met, and that's where we met Barbara as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dylon and me would always be in the chat. We didn't really know each other, but we'd always go back and forth in the chat a little bit. And I was in a party after the HTV with Michael and Ray, and I was friends with Dylon on Xbox, and they weren't.
Right.
And he sent me a message, and I went to reply, but I actually sent him a party invite. So they're like, oh, my God, you not just sent a party invite to some random person. I'm like, So Dylon joined the party, and he hit it off with everybody, and that's how we all got the whole group together. And then, as you know, Lindsay came on, and then after Carrie came on.
Yeah, by accident.
Yeah, by accident through that weird intro that we had.
I mean, look,
pretty much
the public. Sometimes the public just speaks its will, and then it happens.
Yeah, I think it was like all that part of that guy's plan. He wanted to carry on so badly. He's like, I'm gonna make it look like a mistake, but it's really what I want.
Yep.
And he got his wish.
He
got what he wanted.
Oh, good. And now Carrie's doing a bunch more integrated stuff with the actual filming over there. He's in Let's Plays. They had a whole series based around him and Chris, and I don't know. Maybe it is kind of helping some of these people who are normally behind the scenes come out of their shell a little bit.
Exactly. I would like to think so.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little bit.
And so then you've had a couple of other guests on there as well. But that's...
Yeah, we had Garrett a couple times. Trevor Horman, who's a very talented musician.
Garrett from Mega 64.
Garrett from Mega 64. Let's not just quickly
gloss over that one. Let's not gloss over those wonderful dreadlocks.
Yes. And then Trevor Horman from Rooster Teeth Community Site.
Yeah.
And we had Amy, who was our friend, who we haven't actually heard from in a while. She was on like one of the first couple podcasts right after New York Comic Con, I think 2011. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it was a couple of years ago. We haven't heard from her since.
Huh.
Really, but she was a good guest as well.
Absolutely.
And Lindsay was a guest a couple times as well before she became a full-time, I guess,
regular
host.
Yeah.
Yeah, regular. So.
And so what you guys started out as a very small little thing that kind of really started out as tiny chats,
Yeah.
and group meetings where everyone was able to join in. How did you decide to then take it to something that you could, well, produce?
It all started with a conversation we were having in an Xbox Live party, not in a tiny chat.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who said it, might have been Michael, but people were like, or Mike, they were like, this conversation is the dumbest thing we've ever heard. People would absolutely listen to this. we have to put this out there. Like, people would probably listen to this. So then we did a test episode, and we put it out. It got, pretty good feedback, and we just kept making them ever since.
Right. And
missing a couple weeks here and there, but
I mean, did it help that you already kind of started to have a tight-knit community underneath you, such as Rooster Teeth?
I think it did, yes, because it's such a wonderful, wonderful community to be a part of, and I'm so lucky to be a part of it. And I just got lucky in the position I'm in, and
word spreads fast throughout that kind of network.
Exactly, yep. I just I was riding on Michael's coattails, just whee, and I just soared.
Well, I mean, the same could be said for me. I mean, look at some of the people that I've had on. It started out with James, and now I've got people like you and JJ, and Caleb and Dylon, and
yep.
So I mean, we get who we have easiest access to, and kind of build off of that.
Doing pretty well for yourself.
Look, I'm not gonna take too much credit because let's just face it, it's just two people having a conversation here. But I am half the conversation, so that's got to be worth half.
I'll give you 60%.
Fair enough.
I'll give you 60-40. I'm a decent 40. I'm carrying you a little bit, but I think you can do it. Yeah.
Oh, that's very sweet. So then, not only do you do stuff with Internet Box, but you also have the YouTube channel, like you said earlier. What
I do
other
have a YouTube
stuff
channel
have you been able to do on it?
I always do different things. Like, I've never been able to do like the same video twice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've always tried to like make like a series. Like, I've done like 2 attempts at a Let's Play. I'm in the middle of one right now. I have a part 2 that I'll probably put out. But the first one, my Let's Plays don't get a whole lot of views. It's my dumb videos that I put no planning in get all the views.
Of course they do. Those are the ones that always take off.
Which is how the internet works.
Yeah.
But it's somewhat annoying. It's like, hey, I actually put work into this. And it's like, yeah, I'll give you a couple thousand. Like,
i.e. the blind Skyrim video.
Yeah, the blind Skyrim video. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an excellent idea for a video, but then it's definitely dumb. I mean,
it was the dumbest thing like I could have ever thought of. I was like, oh, blind, like the character's blind, but like
now,
2 meanings.
I'm sure this story's come out somewhere else, but did you have to do that in After Effects or something, or?
Yeah, I just put it into what's I think Adobe Premiere.
Yeah.
And I just like put like the I'm terrible with like tech and like video lingo and jargon, but I put the brightness thing all the way up.
Gotcha. So
I just made everything all white. Yeah. People are like, why don't you just make it black? I was like, because that would make it boring.
Right. You gotta have at least like hard cataracts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's not
blind people, they can see like shapes and stuff.
Exactly.
Like, they can't it's not just pitch black.
Especially when you're going through something like the intro that everybody already knows, but it's even that big ass freaking dragon, man.
Oh yeah, everyone knows what
every
it is.
time.
Like, yeah.
And every time, especially like when you're seeing it through that awful filter, it's just different. It feels new, it's dumb, but it feels new.
I've never seen something like that before, and I was like, I'll try it.
Right.
It's decent.
And it's stuff like that takes off.
Yeah, but stupid things like I did a Vine like last May or something, right after Star Trek came out, and I did like as if I was like driving my car, like Starship Enterprise, like warp drive engaged, putting it from parking to drive, and I wanted to upload it to Vine, and it failed. So I was like, fuck. So I just had the
video
on my
clip.
phone.
They go straight into your library.
Yeah, so I just uploaded that to YouTube, and that got way more views than like any Let's Play I would ever do, and it's a 6-second long video. And I'm like, that's all right.
That's the irony of the internet, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that is par for the freaking course. I mean, speaking of Vines, I made the RT Vine video that was made completely by accident. The interview that I did with Blaine that I was telling you about earlier, I was talking about the Vine videos that they did and how they needed to just go ahead and slap them all together into a video somehow, and how they might be just waiting for someone to do it. And then I started to put it in the little frames like I'm going to do with some of the videos that we've talked about here.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to resize the frame. I'm way too lazy for that. So I slapped them on a background, and kind of put some transitions in the middle. way more effort than it should have been. And by the time I realized that I was halfway through making the very video that I was railing against them for not making.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, fuck it. Might as well make it good. And so I did.
And it was fantastic.
And thank you. And it was seen by all those people over there, and they picked it up, put it on. It's almost at 500,000 views.
That's more views than I think I have altogether on my YouTube channel. So congrats to you, sir.
I am
That's quite an
flabbergasted. I mean,
good.
thank you, really, thank you. I can't. I'm not, trying to.
That's an honor.
Toot my own horn or anything like that, but
toot.
I mean, for a video made partially by accident, it's not too shabby.
No, it's
and I am just most humbled to have been given the opportunity. I mean, they were so great to work with. They completely let me do whatever I wanted. They had a couple little notes here, said they wanted to kind of redo the frames to make it more Vine-like. But for the most part, the video that's on their channel was the video I made.
Yeah, it was. So how many times did you go back and forth with them? Did you just how many different edits of it or shots or?
There were a total of 3 different cuts. There was my original, the first redo that I did, and then the final.
Okay.
Yeah, because
who were you in touch with? Barbara, Bernie?
Absolutely, Bernie. He was the one who saw it on the subreddit, and he's the one who I was instructed to email. And so when I went in there, I saw Meg at the front desk there, and she was like, What are you doing? Because I met her at RTX. So she was working with the Guardians, and so she kind of recognized me. She was like, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "I've actually kind of got a meeting with Bernie Burns." and she was like, "Oh yeah, he's just waiting in there. Go right ahead." And I walk in there, and there he is at the end of the table, behind his freaking laptop, just 6'2" of him posing.
He's a pretty tall dude.
I'm a little, and I'm not short. I'm like 6'1", but it's just. It was very nerve-wracking the first couple of minutes. And then I got in there, and he called Barbara in, and he called Brian, the art director, in, and gave me a whole bunch of notes and was just, the coolest.
Yeah.
Fonzie ain't got shit on him.
Yeah. I'm only 5'10". He's pretty tall. I'm not Dylon short. I'm in between you and Dylon, I would say.
Yeah, he's rather tiny.
Road.
He is rather tiny. I've got an amazing picture of the two of us touching butts. Adorable. And he's a good foot short, and we're both hunched over, but he's a good 1.5 feet shorter. It's great.
I like to pick him up and carry him around at events and stuff. That's what we do.
He could be your backpack.
He's a good backpack.
So getting back to the internet box, who does what over there? You guys have any sort of segmented jobs, or does everyone kind of pick up whatever slack needs to be picked up?
Usually we have segmented jobs. If we have to bum rush it and just we nerf this one, everyone just do everything now, just get it done. We don't care who does it, just someone get it done. But usually Mike always runs the website. That's no one else really knows how to do that. That's all Mike. Dylon pretty much does the editing. I think we've always said, the running joke is Dylon edit that out.
Yeah.
Ray is usually good with the closing at the end, saying follow us on Twitter.
Just that ending ramble. Which
the ending thing that I nerfed last week. I usually do the intros. It's the easiest job in the world. Just go through intros, and I guess that's all
it can't be easier than picking the questions.
Oh yeah,
and yet somehow it always gets fucked up.
Those questions, man. Oh my god. I hope these questions are better than those questions, which I am assuming they are.
Well, I'm not going to lie. Most of them are very boiled down versions of the ones that I got off Twitter that I end up doing for my show, because my show is not y'all's show. Silly to a point. I like to dig a little bit deeper here.
Yeah, it's not just Molly Joe, Justine,
Oh, yeah.
Those are, they're funny sometimes, but just they get just beaten to death, and it's all my questions are always stupid stuff like that. Just
oh yeah,
I'm weird, but I also have regular things too that other people ask for other people.
And that's just something that comes with a little bit more time. Which, to be fair,
it's my own fault.
3 years already.
It's my own damn fault. I did it to myself.
Every kind of experience like that needs a little bit of growth. There's rumblings, even as we speak, of is it still a little juvenile? You know, and it
yeah.
It's from a fan base that is kind of growing with you guys.
Yeah, we like to think we're trying to grow up, but they just kind of plateaued and they bring us down with them. So it's like, all right, we're staying here now.
Well, I mean,
so they're keeping us down with them.
Hey, worst case scenario, you program for the audience you want.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing, and people seem to like it. So why change?
Yeah,
that's why, we'll probably never ever get sponsors. But if we do, we're never gonna change. Like, we don't want to change to get a sponsor. Like, we're just gonna stay who we are, have fun. We don't want to be on anyone's guidelines. We have our own set of rules that we follow. Like, can't say this, can't say that, hush hush on this. Mm-hmm. Obviously, them working at a production company don't want to be spilling things that they shouldn't be saying on another podcast, especially that they shouldn't be saying.
Lindsay Tuggy. Sorry, that cough was not supposed to cover that at all.
No, and spoiling things. So
yes.
That would be the Lindsay Tuggy cough.
Oh, man. So, I mean, I know y'all have to have a good bit of fun over there, but sometimes things get heated. Is it a case where you just step back and kind of give people their space and time and let things play out? Or because you're in the limelight, are things a little bit more boiling than they should be? I should probably not say some of the things I say to my fellow castmates over Twitter if I'm having a hissy fit or a temper tantrum, if you will. Yeah.
Sometimes I say things I probably shouldn't say, but, I'm human. I make mistakes more times than I probably should.
And it's really hard to get sarcasm across in text. I mean, it really is.
It really is.
There needs to be some sort of alt-shift tilde that puts up a little character that says sarcasm.
But it's like half the times, like, if we just absolutely destroy one another, the other person or that person will be, like, immediately on DM behind the scenes, like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. You're right, buddy. That was But,
Yeah, because at the heart of it, you are all friends.
Exactly.
And friends are allowed to argue. And
we've all had our differences here and there, but everyone does. Everyone,
Absolutely. And the show trumps it all.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's kind of the most important quality that's been kind of put forward here in this latter half of the Internet Box as a whole. I mean, the show trumps everything. And so even if there are personal issues, you're still able to put those aside and laugh and carry on. And quite frankly, get through those issues easier because then you're just able to kind of shrug it off.
Yeah, and
because chances are you're blowing something out of proportion, maybe.
Oh yeah, especially me. I always do that. But
well, I mean, I only expect for you to be able to speak for yourself, but everybody does it, me included. And then when you fly off the handle, you feel bad later. You're able to go back and apologize to that one person. But as is often the case, it's really hard to disseminate that information to the regular public. So they're like, oh, they're still fighting? Oh, I guess they're still arguing. Oh, blah, blah, blah. When you resolved
I love going into, like,
weeks
the
ago.
subreddit with all, like, everyone's thinking, like, oh my god, is something still up with Ray and Dylon or Mike and Andrew or Ray and Michael or whatever, like things spewing in, like, the subreddits. I'm just like, not really. They're just taking it out of proportion, We're different people. We all have different things going on. Sometimes we can't make some weeks. Sometimes,
But then again, people speculate on every kind of fiction.
Absolutely. People speculate. It's human nature.
Exactly. People are wondering what's going to happen in the 50th thing of Doctor Who coming up here shortly. They're speculating all over about that one, and the speculation about what's going through y'all's heads is no less ridiculous.
Exactly.
So, with that being said, audience input can be really important. Is there any input you've ever gotten that's been like, oh, wow, we should implement that?
We haven't really done much to innovate Internet Box, I guess. I don't know. I think we've always done the questions. If not, I think that was probably something that we started doing. That, if not, like, based on fans, like, seen that no thing ever done before to try to include the fans in more.
Right.
We've definitely tried to make them part of the podcast. That's why they're all called the people. It's like a whole.
Of course.
It's like they're like our 9th member of the podcast. They really are. It's like at the end they get their own little spotlight. With the question segment. We haven't really done as many playdates as we would have liked.
Right.
I think we're trying to work on that. Mike has his Mike casts, but those are kind of separate from Internet Box. Dylon and I used to have playdates every couple of weeks playing Halo. We haven't done that in a while.
Right.
But we've never really done everything as a whole, besides, like, the 100th anniversary tiny chat or whatever that we have.
Well, I mean, everybody's schedule gets rather rough, especially come the fall, because you're either getting ready and getting stocked up for Christmas break coming up, because Rooster Teeth people are going to want to take time off during that time, or you're in school right now and working and trying to, exist.
And almost half of our podcast team, I mean, Carrie, Barbara, and Lindsay were swamped with RWBY stuff.
Yeah.
That was like especially Carrie. The poor man, I went to Texas twice this summer. I saw him maybe 4 or 5 hours on both occasions.
Wow.
Together. He was really, really busy.
Jeez, Pete. I mean, they are really, really ramping up over there. I mean, from a company that started out with one series that was made with 8 guys on controllers to now having, I'm going to say, a dozen series. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Whether they have launched off into more and more seasons, but they have made a lot of things. But, the podcasts, 2 of them now.
Yeah.
They have 2 podcasts. If you count all the Achievement Hunter shows.
Which are multiples. I mean, you got not only the regular Minecraft stuff, which could be its own separate show, but then every other Let's Play they've ever done, GTA 4 and 5, the shows that they do there, the Let's Builds, which JJ helps out with, and then does his other stuff over there. I mean,
it's just crazy how much content. That's why I'm always so behind on Rooster Teeth Productions stuff, and I always feel I have my priority things to watch, but I feel like I'm not branching out as much as I should because I just can't keep up, and I feel terrible about it.
I imagine
especially since I'm friends with some of the people who make the products that I should be watching, and I'm not, and I feel awful.
Well, I mean, I imagine it's
3 episodes behind on RWBY right now.
It's like a ballet of controlled chaos in that office. Yeah. It's just a beehive of constant work.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think I would really enjoy being in that kind of environment. I'd like to do something like that one day. If not my own company, then someone else's. I'd be interested in as well, especially, from my line of work, I just I work in retail my whole life. I'm just I'm tired of taking people's orders, and I like to just do my own thing. Yeah. So then, do you plan on expanding the YouTube channel a little bit more then?
I would like to be more active on the YouTube channel, absolutely. I'm not in it for the money at all, because even if I did monetize, I get a penny for every video I make, because you gotta get a lot of views for that actually.
I've been doing stuff since February, and I have $5.
$5 more than I have off my YouTube channel.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're absolutely right. You got to take the victories where you can.
The most amount of views of video that I have is, I don't know if you've seen this, it's that Human Centipede trailer that I made with the song Bet on It.
Yeah.
I can't put that on because it's with copyrighted music.
Right,
and that video, ironically enough, is actually banned in Germany, which is where the movie takes place. So people in Germany can't see that video, but yet it has the most amount of views than any of my videos that I've ever put up.
Did it give a reason?
No. Just Germany was like, nah, we don't like this. And they turned it down. I was like,
it's insulting to the Führer.
German doesn't like Andy.
No, Andy, we will not take your kind here. Nein.
All right, I'm sorry.
It's such a beautiful language, so lyrical, so musical.
They have their history, but they have some pretty intense sounding language.
Yeah.
And so I got to give it to them. Not to the point where I enjoy it. It's intimidating, and I like that.
What about the Twilight video? Are we gonna see anything more like that? Because that was actually
What is Twilight? Yeah, I would like to do another What Is. I have never seen Back to the Future, which is a huge one that everyone's seen Back to the Future. You're probably like, what the hell is wrong with this person at the end of my computer right now? So I don't really know much about it. I know there's a DeLorean and a time travel and a train in the third one, I think. But I would like to do a video about that, maybe a What Is. But I think I know too much about it to blatantly make fun of it, like what I did with Twilight.
Well,
I don't want to make fun of it. I like to just it's a well-respected movie franchise other than Twilight. I mean, no offense to people who like Twilight, but it's garbage.
Yeah. I don't think anyone will stop you there. But that doesn't necessarily mean you have to, make fun of it in a negative light. I mean, have you ever seen the channel Cinema Sins?
I have not.
He does a series called Everything Wrong with Blank in Blank Minutes.
Okay, I have seen that. I just didn't recognize the name.
And it's really, really neat because it's not necessarily lambasting the movie because it's good or bad. It's continuity errors. It's this scene does not contain a lap dance. It's, comical stuff that is usually either I guess he's got a good point, or Now you're just being nitpicky, but it still, serves to a point of pointing
Without
out
being blatantly arrogant.
Exactly, or without bringing the movie down as a whole. I mean, he's done everything from Avengers to Twilight and everything in between,
Yep.
and
I have seen those. Come to think of it, I just didn't recognize the name.
So when you're able to kind of walk that line and figure out the formula, then videos like that just kind of end up flowing.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun making that Twilight video. I remember I just came home from school one day, should have been doing homework. I'm like, nah, I'll do it in a couple hours. I'll do something, and I recorded that whole thing with my iPhone, and I jerry-rigged this thing to place like my phone on top of it, and I would be like to record myself, and I made that stupid thing in the back, like that background thing that says, what is Twilight, with
Which started falling off.
Yeah, it started falling off. Like it did that accidentally. I'm like, oh, this should be funny. So then I would I did it in a way so like I had to like time myself, like I knew it would like start, because the way like I guess the paint and the paint on the wall and the tape weren't getting along that well. So I was like, oh, it would like always fall like in a certain amount of time. Like, oh, I bet I could time this right. So I did it, and then it just fell on my face as soon as after I said my line, which I forget now. And then, which led to the next scene of just going like overkill with the duct tape, and the duct tape still being on the roll, just hanging there.
That's fantastic. And then I just love the little puff of glitter that comes out onto the sign.
Yeah.
Right in the beginning there. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun making it. It was probably, one of the most fun I've ever had making a video. I was like, hey, this is pretty creative. Probably the most creative thing I've ever done or like ever capable of doing ever again, but we'll see.
So speaking of stuff you're doing now, you have the, is it Condemned? Yeah, Condemned playthrough going on.
Yeah, I have the Condemned Let's Play, which is from
apropos for Halloween.
It also ties into Halloween, but it's from last week's podcast where I talked about playing the Condemned demo back when I first got my Xbox, like way back in 2006. I got it the summer after it came out.
Yeah, see, I missed the first Xbox. I was a PS2 guy.
Yeah.
So I missed like a lot of those early Xbox demos and stuff. It was probably, 4 months after the machine came out that I even played Halo.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about the 360 still, but
the
Condemned came out for the 360 and either 2005 or 2006. I say both years in my Condemned video because I'm an idiot, because I don't even know, I didn't do my background information, but I remember that summer I had to wait for my report card to come out, and once my mom saw that I got adequate grades, then I could go get the Xbox. And my friend Tyler came over, and he stayed over for like 4 days or 4 days and 4 nights, and we just played Xbox.
Right.
And I bought Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and like the Project Gotham Racing, which came bundled with it because I bought it as a bundle in the store. So I only had those 2 games, and I downloaded the Condemned demo because it was like one of the demos available. So we're like, I'll try this. Scared the living piss out of both of us, and we never got past like a certain part. And I hadn't played that demo until when I made that video, and I was like, oh my god. And it still scared me because I'm a wuss when it comes to scary things. I like scary things, but I scare like a little girl.
I like tense and atmospheric things. I don't like jump scares. They get really dumb, really old, really quickly.
Yeah, and like messed up hobos like smacking you with sharp objects kind of scares me in dark places. I don't like it. Yeah, that is playing on some basic fears, i.e. hobos. Like, I don't mind being in the woods at night. That doesn't bother me. Being like an abandoned like factory or apartment at night that's all run down, that freaks me out. I don't like closed tight spaces.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Like not knowing where to go. Like,
so like a Silent Hill.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I make a wrong turn, I could be at a dead end. At least in the woods, you can kind of see, it's like wide open, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fall over and break your leg or something, but.
And then they have to do a thing where the entire forest is pitch black and all you have is a little torch that kind of goes out.
Yeah.
Slender. And it ends up getting very old very quickly.
Yep.
Very old very quickly. And that's a problem.
Slender games, but I don't think I would enjoy those either.
Yeah. And then the other thing about jump scare type monsters is eventually, especially like if they, cutscene you to make them jump out at you, you get so frustrated at the damn things. You're just like, let me get through the game. You're not even scaring me anymore. I'm just getting pissed.
It's just annoying. It's just like so in your face and like over the top. It's like, this is dumb. This is not getting us anywhere.
Yeah. This is dumb and I no longer want to participate in this. Thank you very much. Click.
Bye-bye.
And so, what do you plan to do after that?
I recorded something pretty recently in GTA. That's what I do. I always just like record something, and I'm like, oh, this would be a good video, and it just sits on my computer. I don't do anything with it. I have a Mass Effect video I wanted to do that's just sitting there. It's halfway done. I like get to like 50 to 80% done with things, and I just don't follow through. I am terrible with following through with things. I just lose the motivation.
I know. Trust me. I know exactly what
it's
you
a terrible habit.
And then you sit back down and pick it up, and you're like, "What was I even thinking?"
Like, you're lucky this Condemned Part 2 is gonna go up, but I think it's gonna go up. It's already done. All I have to do is just hit upload, so it's probably gonna go up. So that's like actually done. I'm putting that up in a couple days.
Shoot, I've got one going up right now.
Oh, look at this guy.
Well, I mean, it's just more of the Stanley Parable. Yeah, speaking of a game that freaks you the hell out,
I haven't seen a whole lot of Stanley Parable, but I've seen enough.
Yeah, that it's so freaking fantastic, man. Without giving too much away, because it really is one of those that you either need to watch from start to finish or play yourself.
Yeah.
It keeps restarting the story.
Interesting.
Because things keep going wrong, either because you consciously do them by disobeying the narrator, or just because of the fact something's going wrong. And the way it keeps restarting and the way they give you more information, it can really freak you the hell out. Like, after I finished recording the 4th episode, I had to quit. I was like, no, I can't. That was, too much.
Sensory
stimuli overload. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It really was stimuli overload, and I just could not take it. I had to get away for a minute. And I haven't felt like that in a video game in a long time.
Was it good or bad, or like both?
It was definitely good. Like,
okay.
I wasn't, panic attacking or anything like that, and it wasn't jump scare bad, and it wasn't...
Is it a scary game? Or?
No, it's just very tense.
Okay.
Because you are literally the only person that I've seen so far.
I could be wrong. I haven't seen a whole lot, but I got like a Valve Aperture Science feel to it, I guess. Like, trying to escape.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. Except it's Portal meets Antechamber meets Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay.
So you've got this narrator who's very calm, but very stern.
Yeah.
Like, I disobeyed him once, and I got blown the fuck up by a nuclear detonation.
So I'm guessing you restarted with that.
Yeah, that's one of the restarts.
Okay.
It's kind of like a choose your own adventure where everything leads to an ending, but which one is the right one?
Oh, and if you get to the wrong one, you got to do it all over again?
They all restart. Like, that's the thing. There's no, like, so far, as far as I've found, there isn't a right one yet, because even the ones that kind of are what you would think would be right still restart anyway because something else went wrong.
Do they vary in length, like, I guess, the endings?
Yeah. Some of them are very short, and some of them, like, the narrator's trying to speed you through the story because he's getting frustrated having to tell the same part over and over again.
That's pretty funny.
And it's really very, very funny. And sometimes the location can shift around you just as you turn around.
That's like disorienting. That's
very. And so with the amazing orchestration and atmosphere, and it's very kind of dark and spooky, it can be a little...
videos now because I want to see what this game's about.
It can be a little overloading, but still, I mean, I can't wait to... As soon as we get done with this, I'm going to go record some more. I mean...
Is it exclusively on Steam right now?
I think so.
Okay. Does it work on Mac? That's what I have. Or is it just PC? Yeah, I know.
I'm not 100% sure, actually. Give me just a second and I'll look.
Oh, you're so kind.
I'm interested to know. But yeah, I really freaking enjoy the crap out of this game. I haven't had a game have the story happen to me in quite a while, because most games kind of give you just the story happens around you and you're kind of a part of it.
Along for the ride almost, yeah.
Exactly. But this game, you are the story, and you are...
That's pretty interesting. I would be really interested in that. I just don't have a PC.
Yeah, I do not think it is on Mac. Yeah. I think it is PC only.
Well, if anything, I could just like get through with a couple Let's Plays, just watch them, I guess.
Yeah.
Get almost the same experience, but, just cry inside while I watch it.
I mean, sitting there with full headphones on and just completely immersed, and of course all my lights are off. I mean, how the hell else you got to play a game like that?
It's the only way to play video games. Just pitch black darkness. It's so good.
It's wonderful. Like it's
can't see anything
just...
but like a screen. Oh, it's so good. You can't even see the hand in front of you unless it's like in front of the screen. Oh.
Yeah, if you do not want to sit there and watch me play it, audience out there, go buy that freaking game. It's like $15 on Steam right now.
Not if you have a Mac, you're screwed, like me. But if you have a PC, buy it.
Absolutely. It was made by Galactic Cafe, I think. Little indie studio named Galactic Cafe. And it was originally a mod just for the Source engine.
That's how games happen now. They like little mods, and all of a sudden they just blow up.
Dota?
There's a big indie thing going on in video games now the past like couple years or so. It's crazy. Cat.
Oh, kitty. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Look at a company like Behemoth even that came from Newgrounds, which is even further back in the Flash.
I actually did not know that. That's interesting. I didn't know Behemoth came from Newgrounds.
Oh yeah, and the Alien Hominid game was on Newgrounds first, a long time ago, and and
it had a big impact. I just didn't know what it was from though, but that makes a lot more sense. I thought it was just.
I want to say that was old Tom Fulp himself.
Wow. Okay.
I think. Yell at me down there in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. But you see kind of the rise in the prevalence of that, and people are starting to kind of copy that formula. And I mean, it's not exactly as though it's an unknown thing. I mean, they took the 4-person brawler from Turtles in Time and Final Fight and Streets of Rage and all that good stuff, and made it better.
Yeah. And
then you got Castle Crashers with
love that
color coordinated knights and a pink one that shoots rainbows.
Yep.
But how do you do much better than that? Well, whatever they're gonna make after that.
It's like I don't know, like the creative development of that game though. They must have. I don't know what they were on, but God bless them for making it. It was a fantastic game. It was so funny. It was one of the funniest games I've ever played. That and I forget the new one, but
Poop.
Yeah.
Me too.
Everyone knows what I'm talking about.
So many freaking video games.
Yeah.
There's just so many freaking video games. Sorry, Behemoth. What are you gonna do? But so, what other games do you like to play? Speaking of video games, I mean, are you an FPS guy? Or are you?
I am not the biggest FPS guy. I like playing the stories. I'm not big into like the Battlefield or Call of Duty multiplayer. I'm not a huge multiplayer guy. I play Halo a lot online.
Mm-hmm. But then again, that's just because there's an abundance of friends.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like I do it for playdates. It's easier for playdates. I'm really obviously playing Grand Theft Auto 5, but then again, I was playing Grand Theft Auto 4 until Grand Theft Auto 5 came out.
Yeah, people have heard tales of you're just driving around for hours.
That same.
You still do that in GTA 5?
I have not found like my spot to like redo over and over again because I'm still finding new things to do because it's just it's so massive.
Right.
And
of course, by the time you figure it all out, DLC.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, November's first DLC pack.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Beach Bummers DLC, I think it's called.
Yeah.
It's free, but it's just like new cars and weapons.
I really wanted to get Saints Row 4, and I haven't even been able to get that yet. I'm so behind.
I got it on demand. I didn't want to. I was like, it was one of the first games I bought on demand. I'm not a huge on-demand person. I like having a disc because I'm just old-fashioned, I guess. But I was like, wow, I'm here in my pajamas, and it's there right now. All I have to do is just push a button, and it's mine.
You kind of can't beat that.
Yeah, because I played it.
Really
I played it a little bit when I visited Michael for a little bit, and I never finished it. I forget. Oh, I just started playing Mass Effect there for whatever reason. The first one. Well, he played Oblivion. We were playing both games.
I mean, did he not have the second one? Did you just consider yourself an S&M torture for that day, or I mean? Why Mass Effect 1?
I love Mass Effect 1, more so than a lot of other people. Mass Effect 1, I like more than Mass Effect 2, and that shocks a lot of people that I talk to that love Mass Effect.
A little shocking, because, I mean, all I have to say, I have one word. Mako.
It handles like a fat man on a unicycle, but it's so cool to draw. I just like because I just like to explore, like, even, like, it's sort of like a little square, but it's more than you can do in Mass Effect 2. They didn't have like any exploration. They had the mining, which was dreadful. Then they had like that DLC, the Hammerhead, which was pretty cool, but they were like set missions, which the missions were really well done. Well, not all of them. I have my grapes. But I just like driving that Mako, just exploring like, what's over this rock? Oh, great, more rocks. But still, it was like driving around, doing the jet thing. You're nodding.
I think we're starting to see a pattern developing.
Yeah, you're shaking your head, but
just driving around in circles.
I love the Mass. But then again, I love driving games, so there you go.
Yeah. Fair enough. Are you into comics and movies and stuff too, or?
I am not so much into comics as much as I would like to be. But I love comic book movies, and I love movies.
I was gonna say, I bet that makes it a lot easier.
That makes it so much easier. Like, I didn't know anything about comics. I didn't know anything about Iron Man before I saw Iron Man, and then all of a sudden I'm like a huge Marvel fan now. I used to thought I only liked DC, but now I like Marvel exponentially better than DC,
I mean,
with the exception of Batman, who's my favorite. But
it is a little unfair when you're having to compare the non-superpowered heroes that are in DC, which is pretty much everybody except for fucking Superman,
who has all the powers,
compared to the gods and technological geniuses and demi-humans and everything else is in the Marvel.
Batman's still my favorite superhero, though. But I mean, as a whole, I gotta go Marvel over DC.
He's a great one when he's used properly. I have a big problem with the Dark Knight series as a whole, like all the Christopher Nolan movies. And it stems to one fact.
Okay.
And it's Christopher Nolan believes that Batman is the mask. That Bruce Wayne is the man and that Batman is the mask. And that is wrong.
See, I don't read the comics. I've only seen those movies, so whatever Christopher Nolan did is right.
Well, the common conception is that Batman is the person that Bruce Wayne really wants to be. Batman is the man. And Bruce Wayne is the costume.
Got it.
Having to go out in the daytime and, deal with the fucking public when he really just wants to elbow bad guys in the face.
Yeah, and Dark
Bruce
Knight,
Wayne is the
Dark
costume.
Knight Rises is not even doing that for half the movie.
Right.
He's just moping. And
so Christopher Nolan is even quoted as saying, no, Batman is the mask. And it's like, from that moment, I was like, I can't get on board, man. And he had me at Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Like, he brought me around, not gonna lie. And then Dark Knight Rises happened, and I was like, yep, called that one. Yep, called that one. If you had combined that with, there was one, it was an animated Batman, Dark Knight Returns.
Was it
maybe.
The one with, the 90s with Mark Hamill as a Joker, that one, or no?
Yes.
That was a great series. I have almost all of that series on
put
VHS somewhere in my basement.
No. This was one that was put out more recently.
Oh, okay.
And it's got old Bruce Wayne going up against mutants and their leader, which I thought would have been a great replacement for Bane. And then it goes into the Joker having had amnesia. Of course he had amnesia. Comes out of it and goes on a fucking murder spree. I mean, seriously, just kills everyone.
Was this a movie or a series?
It was an animated movie. It was actually 2 movies.
Oh, the new one that just came out, kind of recent, right?
Yeah. I want to say it's either Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, it was part 1 and part 2.
Something like that.
I remember seeing the Blu-rays. They had those.
Yeah, and it's fucking fantastic. Speaking of another one, Operation Flashpoint.
Yes.
Or Flashpoint Paradox. One of those. That one is fantastic. It's got one of the guys from Grey's fucking Anatomy playing the Flash, and he does an amazing job.
Really?
It's like, who saw that one coming?
Not this guy.
And that one's a story about Barry, whatever his last name is, goes back in time because he can run that fast to save his mom, and it just completely fucks everything up.
Oh, interesting. Oh,
of course. And it's a great story. He ends up meeting alternate Batman. No, not gonna give that one away.
Okay.
He ends up meeting all the alternate superheroes: alternate Superman, alternate Batman, alternate Aquaman, and Wonder Woman.
Opposites, or are they just like a little different? Are they all?
Plead the fifth.
I'll allow it.
Some of them are still good.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic. I want to say it's all over Netflix. So,
what's it called?
We'll get done here soon. Flashpoint Paradox. I want to say
Paradox. I'm making a note of that.
Yeah, because it's fantastic.
I'm gonna hold you up to it. I hope it's good.
Please do, because I like knowing that I'm not crazy. I have very particular tastes. I know that. But sometimes it's nice to get a little bit of reaffirmation from somebody from the outside to go, you know what? You're not wrong. That's always nice.
It is.
So I think that kind of rounds us out here. We're coming towards the end of our show, and as I always love to do, I want to do my little reappropriated version of the Proust questionnaire.
Oh, boy.
It'll come out eventually, I swear.
Questions. Favorite part of the podcast.
And it goes a little something like this. Andrew, what's your favorite word?
Booger.
You got me on that one.
It's a pretty funny word.
That was very quick and very unexpected. I commend you on that one. That one kind of got me. What's your least favorite word?
Is groundbreaking a word? Because I hate that word when people use that to describe things like the movie Avatar.
Oh, I can see that. I can totally see that. If you had a choice, what would be your superpower?
Fly. It's cliche, but you know I like to fly. It makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
I hate public transportation.
What would be your super weakness?
My weakness would be probably cold. I hate the cold. Like, I don't know, but that's probably a super weakness. But I don't like cold.
Well, then you're kind of shit out of luck living in Massachusetts.
Yeah, living in Massachusetts and flying.
Yeah.
Kind of screwed myself with that one.
Excellent point. So what hero or heroine do you identify with yourself the most? No judgments here.
Superhero?
Yeah. Or regular hero or whatever.
Probably. I'm not rich, so I can't be Batman or Iron Man.
Although we do want to be.
I did archery for 2 years, so I'll do that guy, the archery guy from Marvel. Nighthawk. No, Nighthawk. Hawkeye.
Oh, Nighthawk.
Whatever, Hawkeye.
Oh, yeah.
Hawkeye. Yeah. I associate with
that one. Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner. You get lost in those hypnotic eyes.
So dreamy. Except when Loki takes you over.
And so what villain?
What villain?
Yeah.
Gotta go with Loki. I like Loki. He's maniacal. He's
all the chaos, man.
I love all that chaos. It's pretty incredible.
So what sound or noise do you love?
What sound of noise?
What sound or noise?
What sound of noise?
Sorry, I have a cold.
Oh. I'm going to be egotistical and go with my
So much so it was put in fucking RWBY.
I know. It was so distracting.
Let's give a huge shout out to RWBY for putting that in there.
I didn't know it because I hadn't watched the episode yet. They didn't tell me they were putting it in. And all of a sudden, they're like, sweet cameo. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I watched it. And I was like...
palpitations all over the place.
So much I did.
It was like the ending of that GTA trailer video.
Oh god, it was so
good. What sound or noise do you hate?
Old people complaining because they think they're entitled, but they're really not.
Yeah.
That's a really specific thing, but.
Hey, what you hate is what
I hate. As someone who works in retail, I get that a lot.
I'd imagine so. What turns you on, either creatively, spiritually, emotionally?
What turns me on? I like something like, oh god, like women or like sex. What turns me on?
Like either what gets your wheels turning as far as creatively, or what gets you going?
I gotta go with like a really good movie soundtrack I like to listen in the background that gets me going, like dramatic and
something driving.
Yes. And speaking of that, I like to drive a lot and I like to go fast. I like the acceleration.
I'll bet Saints Row kind of lends itself a little bit easier to having the radio playing more often.
Yes.
So what turns you off then?
Turns me off. I do not like exact opposite. I don't like slow people. I don't like people who you have to like repeat yourself to. I don't like that. I don't like
what?
I don't like repeating myself to
Right.
I see what you did there.
There we go.
I fell for it. I was like, "Oh, you didn't hear." I legitimately thought you didn't hear me because I kind of almost mumbled that. So I was like,
"Fuck it, yeah, oh yeah." Well, I mean, internet connection, Skype, you never know. So I appreciate you being safe. But right in, hook, line, sinker.
I'll give it to you. And I don't know. I guess phonies. I guess I don't like people who pretend to be things that they're not. Just be yourself.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So what other talent other than the ones that you've been gifted with would you like to have?
I would like to be the ability to speak better under certain situations. Like, I stammer a lot, and I wish I didn't have that problem. Like, especially on recording, like, I wish I could say things more quickly than I do. Like I'm stammering right now. Like I'm just like if I'm not like.
You wish you had the dagger from Prince of Persia. Just go back 5 seconds.
Exactly,
I got it this time.
Like practice. Like oh I nerfed that one and go back. I can say it again. I wish I had that ability because.
Oh yeah, I am so much more eloquent in text when I have the ability to edit myself.
And someone who's recorded like once a week or once every 2 weeks. You'd think it's something I would have worked on. No, I haven't improved at all. I'm just as shitty with my speech than I was, when I first started Internet Box.
Well, what's your favorite curse word?
Ooh, I would have to go with, I guess, bitch or motherfucker.
I'll allow it. I like consonants. Consonants are a good thing to have in a good cuss word. Motherfucker has a.
That's like.
It definitely has good.
I say goddamn a lot too. That's probably the thing I say the most. I go God damn it, like just always in my head. Something.
Goddamn.
Yeah, exactly. Goddamn. I'm always like God damn it.
So where would you one day like to live?
Austin, Texas.
Moving right along. If you had a choice, this is our last question here. How long would it take you to respawn after you died?
16 seconds, because I always like to kill my teammates a couple times before I die. So I don't know what the penalty timer is, but I like to take a couple of my friends with me, so I'll get that penalty.
Fair enough. I think that's probably one of the best answers I've gotten so far. That sets a high bar here for us going out.
It's probably the best thing I've done all interview.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Tim Talks. An hour just flew the hell by. I don't know how it happens. It sneaks up on me every time.
I'm looking at my Skype time, or my not Skype time, my Audacity time, and it's like, almost an hour.
Absolutely. And so I want to thank my guest, Andrew, for being on today. I really appreciate you coming on, man.
It was
and I hope the audience loves it. And so is there anything you'd like to plug?
I guess if I want to be about me for a second, I guess obviously my YouTube channel, MisterSir 1240. I wish I could go back and change it, but it's like 6 years old at this time. Obviously, listen to Internet Box. I love all you who listen to it. I guess follow me on Twitter, sh_MisterSir.
Isn't there an Internet Box YouTube as well?
Internet Box has their YouTube. I don't know what happened to it. Dylon, I think we changed channels or whatever. I don't know if it got reset or whatever. I honestly don't know nothing about that, so I don't really know our official Internet Box YouTube at the moment. I think it's just, but if you search Internet Box, you'll find videos that we've made or videos that fans have made, which are equally and most of the time better than the videos we make. To be honest, like the animated shorts that people do with our audio are incredible. So
that has taken a real prevalence ever since people started doing it for the Game Grumps and then Achievement Hunter and blah, 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 blah. That is really, that animated segments of
audio,
voiced over recording is,
Jordan doing his stuff. I mean, it really sparked stuff.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. It kind of really started there. God.
He was a fan and also he got hired.
Look at Rooster Teeth again, setting yet another trend.
Yeah.
So, you've been watching this on youtube.com/Tim Leftwich. My name is Tim Leftwich. You're welcome to find me anywhere that you're able to find me. You're able to listen to the audio version of this episode, as well as every other one that I've done, now on soundcloud.com/Tim Leftwich. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and as always, we'll see you next time.